Hallelujah to the only true and wise King, triumphant in all of his ways. He is master, he's redeemer, he's Yah, and he's friend. Hallelujah, the master rules and reigns in every situation, in every circumstance. Regardless of what we think, he has it all under control. Hallelujah to the Most High. He triumphs in victorious wonders. It's not about us, it's all about him. Hallelujah. I want to say Shabbat Shalom.
That's the same thing.
Shalom to my family. Shalom, family. You know I love you. We started a new thing today. Instead of sitting in the chair, we're going to walk around for a minute. Hallelujah. We're not going to be here with you long. We're just going
to sit down, family. Don't like me.
We're gonna try. We're not gonna be here long. I just came to talk to you guys today. First of all, let me do my shout outs. My shout outs to my baby in Toledo, Ohio. Your EMA thinks you are simply wonderful. I love you too much. My baby's in Mississippi. Your EMA, I love you, and I praise Yah for you. My baby all across this U.S., you know I love you, and I thank you. Guess what Son Tobiah and I are doing today? We're doing bird eye tea. Hallelujah. And we're doing our little snacks. We had a snack from this past week, which were all natural. We had apricot. Oh, by the way, apricots are something wonderful you want to implement into your diet. Apricots are one of those perfect, it's not only is it good, dried or raw or just off the vine, apricots you want to add. Those are wonderful things that you want to implement. We're going to talk about those things. I want to say hello to my babies in New Jersey. I love you, New Jersey. And thanks to the women that came today, my lovelies that came into the class this weekend.
That was Sister Neek, Sister Paula, and Sister Reed. I want to make sure I got the names right because once Sister Neek look like she's going to swing on me if I get the names right. Much love to Sisters came and all shalom. One love to Sister.
One love, darlings. And come back and see us again.
That's right.
Hallelujah. Blessings. Now, we're going to continue up our classes. Now, for my baby that is 12, I think he's 13 now, and he watches me all the time, I want to say shout out to my love. And shout out to the unidentified she-bro. Holla at your Imam. Holla at your Imam. I love you guys. So today, we're going to continue talking, this is part 2, on detoxifying our bodies from the vaccine to the babies. And some years ago, before our son went away to college, they said he had a list of shots, vaccines that he did not take, that his mom did not give him when he was coming up. So he had to go back and take some of those vaccines. So it was good that he was at the age he was, and then we did some things concerning his body, concerning these things, making sure that he had his parsley in his meals, cilantro. These are, even though they detox, family, even though they detox from heavy metals, these other metals that are in the body, these are some things. Now, we're going to talk about some of the metals. Now, some of the other things we're going to talk about in another date about how to detox from those other things that they add to the vaccines. And I thought it would be a good idea for you all to know those things. So don't forget your time. Now, let me say this to you. Did you forget about the time? I know you did it. For those that have issues with pain, time tea is wonderful. Take it from me. Time, and it also helps with those nervousness. So don't forget I put these up here for you guys, and I brought some more. And for the babies that were talking to me about pain, and I said, I know about those things. It's about, don't forget your basil, which is holy basil. They call it holy basil because there's different types of basil. So just a side note real quickly. Ginger will help with pain. You got boswellia, which is what I had in my mouth today. Hallelujah.
Oh, you looking at that paper?
Right there.
Okay.
And you got it's called red sea moss. Well, red seaweed. We're gonna talk and find out, is it okay for us to do the red seaweed? Even though I used to do it all the time. But I need to make sure, because I want to stay in the good graces of the Most High. Anything He says don't do, we won't do. And then, you know what? And then cayenne pepper. How about that? Cayenne pepper is one of those pain relievers. I'm here to tell you. Did you take cayenne pepper tea this morning? I hope you did. Cayenne pepper tea with a little ACV, which is your vinegar, red apple cider vinegar, and a little bit of honey will do the job. About 20 minutes later, it works fast, goes to that bloodstream. So, and not only are they good for and don't forget arnica. We had our arnica, we had our white willow bark. It's good for pain, ladies. So, make me proud. We don't have to do that other. And then you don't have to worry about overdoing these different herbs right now, not these. Because sometimes you might want to do cayenne pepper 2 times a day or 3 times a day. It's just opening up your veins, your blood vessel veins, and your blood vessels so that it can relieve some of the stress, the pain. So you might want to see that. Also, turmeric is something that you can do every time when you put a certain amount in. Now, here's the thing with turmeric for those that ask me about the pain. For turmeric, you don't want to do it on an empty stomach. Like for me, give an example. I do turmeric, ginger, and a little bit of cinnamon in the morning. That's a tea. And I make it a tea. Of course, you know I love distilled water. Make my little distilled water hot. Put my turmeric, my ginger, my little bit of cinnamon in it. But you can put it, I put about a half a teaspoon, that's just me. And you can put it on your food, so during the day, as you put on your food, it goes straight through and it helps with the pain. Keeps it under control. How about that? How wonderful did the Father think about us with that? And it has about a plethora of other things, ladies and gentlemen. It has so many other things that you can do with that turmeric. So you can't overdo, well, not this time, because if you what they said you have to have is more like you're not going to do a half of a pound a day. You're not going to do that. So that's one thing that you want to do. And also cumin. Cumin is one of those things that help with pain, but it also, remember I was telling you how Mr. and I do take a teaspoon of that and mix it in with honey, and we take it like a pill, or like cough syrup, take it like cough syrup, and it gets the inflammation out of the body. But not only that, but it helps detoxify from the vaccines that they put in our bodies, the extra heavy metals. We need a certain amount of metals in our bodies, family. You're not going to get rid of all of it. But what they do when they put it in the children, they put an overload.
Aren't some of those metals part of your makeup, like all the things that?
That's right. It's good for our makeup. Exactly. Good job. Good job. We need a certain amount of copper in our bodies. We need a certain. There are elements that we naturally, in our bodies, naturally have in us.
Exactly. That's also part of our makeup.
Yes, we naturally need those things in us. But when they overload our bodies with those heavy metals, we need to just balance it out. And what balances out more, excuse me, what balances out more is the parsley. The cilantro will balance it out. It'll take it out with your urine. So for those who are talking about urine, you go to the bathroom a lot. Okay, so you're going to the bathroom and make sure, water. Give those babies water. The clean water as best. And they can do the same thing as with taking with you. Now, remember last time we talked about you can give the baby some burdock tea, what we drink. Not as it's going to do half the amount that you would naturally make for yourself. So I wanted to make sure that's aware of. And when, let me tell you, some of the things that's good for the brain, someone asked me, Emma, what about their babies have little issues after they finish taking the vaccines and then have little issues with the brain and right on down the line. Do you know, and she said she couldn't just give them broccoli. Yes, you can. Let me tell you what you can do for that. What you can do is just, when we were kids, my mom and my grandmother, they would take it and smash it up really, really well. And they would so much so, it's just like what we would do, put it in a blender. Well, you can do that now that you have the convenience of a blender. Put those little broccoli because these are called cruciferous. And take that little broccoli, which is good for the brain, your broccoli and or cauliflower, and put it in a blender and smooth it up really well, and just feed it to them. That gives enough, and just give them a little bit every day. You know, like those little jars, that's all they do. And the baby when you sick, that's all they do.
Right.
But they add other toxins in there too. But now you're going to just give them just the broccoli. Now, here's the thing. Now, family, when you give your babies these different herbs and your dinner, your vegetables only, don't put a lot of these other additives that you all put in yours. Don't put all this salt, all this sugar in theirs. Don't do that, because their bodies are not ready for that. And because of the vaccines, you want to make sure that you give them as fresh or as pure as possible. So what my nana used to do, and my mom used to do, take those, they would steam those vegetables, and after you steam only the vegetables, don't give them processed foods like you all eat. Don't do all that. I'm trying to get you all off the processed foods because it's bad for the body. It will end up with inflammation and pain and all that type of thing. The more processed foods and different things like that, the more problems and the issues that you have with your body. Your body normally can adjust to the better, the more fruits and vegetables. Green leafy vegetables will detox the body for the babies. Green leafy vegetables, just steam them. Steam them or blanch them. And blanching is when you take it and you're going to put them in hot boiling water with a pinch of salt. Put hot boiling water and a pinch of salt in there. That's all you need. And if you really need an oil, use olive oil or coconut oil. Just all you need is a dollop, just a little bit. Not even a third of a teaspoon of that in your boiling water with a little pinch of salt. And then you just put it in there and wait, not even like a half a minute or a minute if you want the minute or half a minute. And what you do, take that and you can put it in there and take it out. Don't let it stay any more than a minute. And then you put in your blender. When you put in your blender, it's warm for them and it's pulverized so they can take it and they can eat it. But don't put sugar, don't put a lot of salt, just a pinch of salt, because when you know you have enough, when you can just take a little pinch of salt and put it in the boiling water and the water sizzles, you know you got enough. Don't put a whole lot because their bodies can't handle it. And you're only, and especially if you're using, we know we're not using table salt. No table salt, but just a little bit of Himalayan salt. A little bit of Himalayan salt, a little bit of sea salt, just a drop. You know what a pinch is? Like a pinch. And put that in the water. And you can blend it up and you can give it to them. No more, if you're going to give them anything, no more than just a little bit at a time. Just a little bit at a time, just a little bit at a time. And when you're, that's when you can. You can put, when you know when they say you can give them more than just milk. You can give them more than just milk. And you can put it in there. And if you want, you can put a little bit, and just half and half with distilled water in there, and they can do it, mix it in so it's not just straight. You can do it that way. Just a little sidekick on that, just a side note. Okay, for these vaccines, you can do milk thistle. I don't know whether you know, milk thistle is a beast. Milk thistle, and I wrote this down so I wouldn't forget about it. So, I'm getting better, fam. Tell my baby out there who's 13, I am getting better at this. I really am. Let me say this before we go. I almost forgot. My green leafy vegetables. You know, there's a vegetable, it's called, and I was telling the ladies this morning in prayer, it was lamb's quarter. Lamb's quarter is more, it has more nutrients in it than, and believe this or not, lamb's quarter is a green leafy plant. It's real healthy. Lamb's quarter has, it has more nutrients in it than spinach. You know, I told you all, I love sweet potato vines. It's up there with sweet potato vines, up there in lamb's quarters. And guess what it does? It detoxifies the body from vaccines. It's high in green chlorophyll. And Tobias looking at me like, because he knows I take the liquid chlorophyll sometimes, and I keep it in my brain. So when I need that boost or that different boost, I'll drink a little bit of, I'll put the chlorophyll in with a little peppermint extract and just drink it down. I'll just take a capful and just down it. And then every so often I might take it with water, but just basically that. And sometimes if I really want to, I'll just do two capfuls. The other day I was making a smoothie and I just poured, made about 3 tablespoons in there. And Mr. Little says, I'm not eating that. Inside joke. We'll tell you something about that later. But the lamb's quarter is really fantabulous. The lamb's quarter, you can do sweet potato, the sweet potato vine and blend it in there, or you can saute it. It's really, really good. I do it in the mornings, family, and it takes, not only it helps detoxify my body, but it helps with the different pains that we're dealing with, and a little, some know, but a little bit of pain it deals with. Green leafy vegetables will do, I mean, it just perks up the body, it heals, helps, so inflammation, everything. I mean, it's just wonderful. So what I do sometimes, and this is just something, just FYI, this is just for me sometimes, but I'll take my lamb's quarter and I'll take sweet potato vine and I'll take spinach and kale and mix all that in there and put a little bit of, and I'll saute, don't tell Mr. what he's eating, but he'll put in there, and then I'll take all my other little greens like mustard, turnips, spinach, collards, all those, and I'll saute that really lightly. And then after, then I'll saute in some onion and my garlic and just a pinch, not even much to say, but just a pinch of ginger. Do you know that is such, it will make you say, hallelujah. It's so good, it's wonderful. So just a FYI. And then you pour it over some quinoa. Make that a bed, put a little quinoa over that, and put some turmeric and some cayenne pepper. What? Baby? Don't come to my house if y'all want me. But anyway, back to what I'm saying, but the lamb's quarter will help with that, because our bodies, most of our bodies need a lot of detoxifying. Even if you're not doing the getting rid of the vaccines and things like that in your body, you might want to continue to do the iodine. Iodine is wonderful. The iodine is what you want in your body as well, because it helps detoxify the body as well. But our bodies need a certain amount of mercury, but not high. And I'll tell you the reason why. But mercury is damaging. Our bodies already have a certain amount in it. It only has like a, what is it, 0.01, which is nothing. Not really. So that much But it's the different type of mercury, family. It's a different type. This mercury that they put in our bodies now is deadly. It's deadly. We don't want that. But the other end, we need that. So back to what we were saying. And garlic is more like, and I keep looking down, but garlic is more like, it has a little bit of ginkgo in it already. So, but ginkgo is one of those things, but not enough to say anything about. But the ginkgo is what we need for detoxifying for vaccines as well. But sometimes when we think of ginkgo, we think of something for the brain. And it's true. The ginkgo goes into the brain and it detoxifies the brain, literally. So you might want to, and it helps with that. It clears away a lot of things along with that iodine does that too with the brain. So we want to do the cumin. And there's something that I want to introduce you all to. And you all can do your research on this. See, I said it tonight. They can do their research a little bit. If you could go in and find out what it's called trifola. Trifola. And it's like that trifala. I get that, and a lot of women use it in India to help metabolize fat molecules. But it attracts itself to the fat molecules and it pulls the toxins out of there. And that's what some of the trifala, go for it and look at it and then text me and then email me and let me know what you thought about that. We already talked about cilantro. We already know chlorophyll. We already know about, and we're going to talk about milk thistle and how it helps in all the bodies and how it detoxifies. And milk thistle is one of those, where did I say it? Milk thistle is one of those different ones, family, where it is a beast. When I say milk thistle is a beast, I mean to tell you. Milk thistle is one of those wonderful things where I'm trying to find where I put it, but it's one of those that you might want to keep in your cabinet because milk thistle looks almost like red clover, and you'd be surprised how closely they look alike. And what you do, they help with the skin for those children that are having issues with the skin, because you know some of those toxins that they put in the babies. I've seen some of the, when they give the babies a vaccine, and all of a sudden I've seen the babies, how they come up, their bodies are trying to push the toxins out, and they have these little pimples on their, babies should not have pimples on their bodies. And I've seen how they had their little pimples on their bodies to buy it. And they come up and it's like the only way that their bodies are really healthy, especially for our children. Our children try to push those toxins out, and you'll see little rashes that come up. Those little rashes are when they give them the vaccines in certain parts of their body. They're trying to push the toxins out because for those that are really healthy, for those who fast all the time on a baby, and our babies have the genetic backgrounds of the parents. And they push the toxins out, and they have little rashes and stuff like that on their skin. When that little rash comes out on their skin, family, just take a little bit of lavender, and mix it in with a little bit of distilled water, and you can wipe their little bodies with a little lavender oil, essential oil. But don't do a whole lot. You don't need a lot for them. Just maybe about a drop or two, and put it in the water, in their little water. And when you put it in the water, then you just cleanse their little faces with it. Or you can put just a tinge, not even a drop. Just let the little eyedroplet touch into the water. And this is really, really high, and it's the anise. You can do that, and it'll heal back again. Or you can take a little, and after you do that, then take a little coconut oil and go over their skin to seal it back over again. You can do that once you, and those are something, just little tips that I used to go through from where, when our son was little. Let me say, and I want to tell you that really quick. Milk thistle even helps with weight loss, ladies. So if you want a little bit of help, a little bit of boost with your weight loss, it's the milk thistle that helps. And it's one of those helps. Now those babies that have little issues with asthma, I'm gonna get to this real soon. I will, I promise. My stuff that I already have for you all. But you could take a little bit of for asthma, you could put it, but you gotta let them have a little, make a little tea out of it. And just not very strong. And you can take that and make a little tea with a little honey and a little lemon and let them drink a little bit and put a little turmeric in it, just a little bit, or ginger. They like the taste of ginger, so you can make like a little tea out of that. So it's the milk thistle and a little bit of ginger in it to taste, and a little honey and a little lemon or lime. I would say at this time, do the lime for them and get it to a certain consistency that they like it. And it's good for asthma, very good for asthma. So you might want to look at that. And also milk thistle is good for cholesterol. You could do, if you take it, someone told me the other day, they said, Emma, I can only do the milk thistle if it's an extract and I put it in my water and they drink it that way. And then someone else told me that they do a little bit of, do the capsules and they take it as a capsule and it helps with the cholesterol. This is milk thistle. And it helps lower the cholesterol. But you have to watch the increments because depending on what your cholesterol is, you don't want to lower it too low because you need a certain amount of cholesterol in your body for your brain. So those are just a few things before I get to that. And then also, let's see, asthma, which is the lungs. I hit the brain, I hit the skin. It's good for the liver. Now this is milk thistle. It's good for the liver. And these are some things in the cilantro. Now, we've already had previous classes about how wonderful we think parsley is and cilantro is for the heavy metals and for the body and for the kidneys and the liver. Now, we already know about that. So go back on the other classes, family, and check those out. And don't forget your ginger. We always talk about ginger and how ginger is really wonderful for the body, but it's also a detoxifier, and it pulls some of those heavy metals out. And not only is it good for inflammation and pain, but we know about the pain with the ginger. But it also pulls the heavy metals out, fam, and also the garlic. You could take, I know one baby let me know, she says, Emma, I do garlic capsules. I only do the capsules. But when I was taking some therapy when something first happened to me, and I was doing he said, honey, I can smell the garlic when you perspire. He said, you want to smell? So I switch back and forward between ginger and garlic, family. So, but you can't do that. Switch back and forth. And then make sure water. Make sure when they're detoxifying, you drink a lot of water. Make sure you have your water, family, please. These are just a few things, and you can give it to the babies. I heard someone say, Emma, can I give it to my babies? Yes, these are just natural stuff. These are just natural spices and herbs that really supposed to be in your cabinet. These are some things that we eat on a daily basis that's supposed to be in your cabinet. All right. So another thing I want to make sure that you all are aware of, and when someone told me that, and the reason why I have the milk thistle at the top, because someone was saying that their baby was having problems with their bone, like their muscles and their bones were hurting. And I know after they did the vaccines for a while, and then she said that they were doing the vaccine. She said, I know it's from the vaccine. This milk thistle is good for the health of your bones, family, so that you're aware of that. It's good for the bone health.
It sounds like it's a high source of calcium.
It is. It has a lot of calcium in it, and it has a lot of nutrients in it. We're going to have another class where we're going to talk just specifically about milk thistle. It helps with the bone health. It has calcium in it, and to some extent, you can use milk thistle, and some people use milk thistle for the gallbladder because it's one of those good detoxifiers for, and it pulls the metals and toxins right out of the body, fam. So between here, these are some new things that I wanted to implement and to let you all know about these few things. These few little things, I wanted to make sure that you all added to your repertoire. But I had someone to tell me the other day, I was talking to them about something, and they said, "Mom, I never would have thought that when I look in your pantry, I see all these just herbs." And she says, "You really do have all that stuff." Yeah, I have a drive in my pantry. I call it my medicine cabinet. My pantry is my medicine cabinet. So you might please look into these. These are some things we want you to implement. I know you already have your garlic. I know you, because we talk about garlic all the time. I know you have your garlic, your cilantro, your thyme. I know you're drinking your thyme tea. Tell me you are. Email me at God's Words 298 and tell me, "Ema, I am doing my thyme tea," please. It helps with the sore throat and all that, and the corona during this time. Well, they say the corona, but for your throat and things like that during this time of the season. And tell me that you're drinking your hibiscus, fam. Also, tell me that you're doing your cumin, your turmeric, and your cumin and your turmeric about the same family. They come from the same family. So the more you do that, the more healthier you can breathe. It's more easily with the body. I mean, it is a beast. So I want to make sure you all knew those things. Now, another thing I wanted to make sure while I'm with you, family, is that I just wanted you all to be aware of some of the wonderful benefits of the chlorophyll. Now, we always talk about chlorophyll because it's the blood of the plant. It's that green of all, it's the green part of all, like photosynthesis and the chlorophyll and the chlorella. Those are good things that are part of for the body. So I just had to bring that to you. It actually, let me say this to you, and I keep saying I'm going to go back to this, and I really am. I'm going to try to come back to this. But the more I think about it, the milk thistle is one that repairs your cells, and that will give you more. And I keep saying I'm going to let you all look that up, but I just want. It repairs the body. It repairs the cells. Like blessed thistle, you know, one of the things. And there's one, and I'm not trying to get off, but there's another one. It's called blessed thistle. Blessed thistle is one of those herbs that even help with age. It helps with the brain. It helps with it helps wonderfully with the brain, and it helps with aging. So those that are having aged parents in the home or whatever, and they're going through little things, give them some blessed thistle. And just begin to give them a little bit, if you get the extract, follow the instructions. And then you can add B1 with that. Someone had asked me about that too. So I meant to add that into what I was sharing. That blessed thistle, B1 and B2, those are also some things that help with the brain during this time, and it detoxes. The thistles have a habit, not a habit, but a thing of detoxifying certain parts of the brain and then bringing more nutrients back in because it's a repairer, and it helps. Blessed thistle even helps with the eyesight. So just a few things, So if you're trying to help your mom and your dad and your great aunt with that, you want to give them blessed thistle, B1 and B2, B6, and B3. But where I would do the B complexes, and then if they need more, then just add more of that on the side for your question, baby, that asked me about that with your aged relative. And I just wanted to make sure that you're aware of that. But and then too, did you know, let me say this to you too. A lot of people say they're trying to get their hair to grow and their skin to grow. I mean, their skin to look more vibrant. And they say, Emma, why? You all know me, I use turmeric a little bit on my face. I'm giving my recipes, but let me just leave it like that. A little bit from time to time, put a little turmeric around the face in certain areas. But it regenerates. I can't tell you enough of how milk thistle regenerates the cells and the body and the hair and the nails and all of that. It does a regenerative type of thing. But I'm going to let you all, I said I was...
Excuse me, is that something that you can use as far as for health growth? If you're using something like black seed oil, can you use that in conjunction with that?
You can. Black seed oil, I would recommend that. You can add the black seed oil with that and the black seed with milk thistle. It's a wonderful thing. We love it. Good. You make me proud. You make me proud. Add that black seed oil with it, which is, the black seed oil is cumin. The black seed oil is cumin. But it's a wonderful way of getting that cumin in. As a matter of fact, I got my cumin this morning. My black seed oil in this morning. Got my little cayenne pepper tea in this morning, and drank my little baking soda and all that. But listen, fam, you can do that. And then listen, how many of you ladies that still have your cucumber water? Your cucumber water in your refrigerator with a little bit of parsley, and in your water, your drinks, don't forget that adds that. Oh, we're growing the cucumbers, so I'll be bringing a couple of cucumbers into the class as soon as they come. I got the blossoms, but they're going to be coming up soon. But anyway, that's another thing that pulls the toxins out of your body, fam. So please, I said, now these things, remember, you can give it to the little ones, but don't do as high doses as you do, but just put a little bit in there, a little bit every day. And you say, Emma, how can you do all these herbs every day? I just simply just put, you know what, family, what you can do is chop up when you get your different greens. When you get your different greens, I guess I get this from my nana. She used to get her greens and from here and there, and she put them in the freezer. How many of those I know out there where your mom and your dad and your grandmother used to freeze their greens and put them in the freezer? And then when they're ready for the greens, then they just take them out and put them in the. But see, we don't boil ours to where only the juice is left in there. We just saute. I cut mine up, and when I cut it up, I put it in saute it very lightly. And with the onions, now I love onions. I would run my husband out of the house with onions. He said, I don't want no onions in that skillet. Why are you putting so much in there? He doesn't know it's good for you. And I put my little garlic in there, and don't forget your dill. Another thing, family, your dill is another thing that detoxes. I put dill on a lot of salads. When I bring salads in, they say, Emma, what is that green stuff at the top? I put a little dill in there, and over the top, it makes it cute, and it's healthy for you. Don't forget your dill. And also, so these are just a few things that detoxes, and instead of just, we can do that for our children, and let's do it for ourselves. So, I started saying, after you saute your onion, then put your greens in there, your different little greens that you want in there, and then mix it in, and you can eat it like that, fam. And then add whatever you want with it. Someone told me that they found what is the rice? Not jasmine rice, but the basmati rice. Oh. And they said they liked the basmati rice because it's not as starchy, and it goes to their body, and they can go to the bathroom even better, and it doesn't bloat. So I said, okay. So I said, why don't you take that basmati rice, cook it the right way, and put the greens and everything over it. It's a good idea. But see, you know what's even better than basmati rice? You could take cauliflower rice. And I love cauliflower rice because you know I love about the cauliflower broccoli. And I'll take the broccoli leaves and cauliflower and I'll mix it all in there. And then there's it's more, you probably noticed it, fam, but you probably didn't. You noticed it, but you probably didn't know what you were looking at. It's just the when the broccoli gets to a certain point, and it doesn't get real big like the head that you know as, but it's the broccoli that's around it. I forgot what it's called. I'll bring the name to you another time. And that's broccoli, but
It's almost smaller than your average broccoli.
Yeah.
That's what they call it, broccoli.
They call it broccoli. I love broccoli. I love broccoli. I forgot to tell you. Listen. Take the broccoli, fam, and you can feed it to the babies at any time. And it's a good detoxifier because it's carnivorous. And you can do it that way. Yes. It detoxifies.
I was told in a time past that if you overdo broccoli, it can build up uric acid and you can get the gout.
You can. That's why but guess what? You're not doing it. You don't have a whole lot of it. And you're not doing it every day.
Okay.
You're not doing
everything
in moderation, except for parsley.
Okay.
And
That's something you can overdo, it won't have any side effects.
It won't have any side effects.
Okay.
And garlic, and ginger, and turmeric.
So there's some exceptions to the rule.
There are. So family, when you do the broccoli, and I love broccoli, and I love cauliflower. So listen, so you can make the cauliflower rice. You take your greens, put your greens over the cauliflower rice, and you have a wonderful meal that way. But those are just a few, just little things you can give to the babies, and you eat it. But it's one of those wonderful things. And don't forget to sprinkle a little basil. Basil makes you happy. Basil makes me happy. That's why I've planted 4 different types of basil, family. And I love basil. But anyway, back to the point. So I'm not gonna, and when you're out, a lot of people, they used to use, they would use milk thistle when they would say it's on their skin. And they would say, oh, it helps with UV rays, the UV rays, so it's not as hot. Not us, but others do. They put it on their skin. And for the young lady, my baby, who asked me about red clover, and I keep going back over some things that they ask me from time to time. You could spritz a little, make your red clover tea, and you can spritz it in the root of the hair and keep it from breaking off so much. That's one of the things that you can do with red clover for the hair. So then it keeps it from breaking. So so for the question that was, EMA, my hair breaks off quite a bit, what do I do? Red clover is one of the ones you might want to invest in and just make it a tea. You don't have to do it all the time, but those are one of the things you can do. But I didn't want to make this very long. I wanted to make sure that you all were out there. I wanted to make sure that I wanted to add, this is part 2. We'll touch on the part that next week we'll try on a little bit, the latter part of detoxifying the body from heavy metals. And that'll only be a little bit, but these are some things that I wanted to put out there. Family, let me tell you, and I'll get to this next time. I promise I'll get to this next time. I promise. But remember this, when you do processed foods, a lot of the processed foods have those heavy metals in it. Those white flour, white sugar, different already processed foods. They have the heavy metals already in it. They have the mercury and the carcinogens already in it, fam. So you want to be very, 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 very careful, especially for us. We want to be very, very careful and what you give your babies. When I get home, I was thinking about this on my way, and I was thinking to myself, I should have brought Tobias some blackberry smoothie. I love blackberry smoothies. But anyway, blueberry smoothies. Ooh, blueberries are the bomb. So blueberries are another thing you might want to incorporate in your diet as well, especially for this time for the children. I love you guys. Somebody thinks you're wonderful, and it's your EMA who thinks you are simply awesome, and you're fearfully made, and your body will respond. I told Tobias today, I said, I have to tell my body, we are not going to have certain things. We're not going to do certain things. This is how we're not going to feel, and I talk, yes, you say, EMA, you talk to your body? I sure do. I talk to my body, telling it what it will and will not do. And I want you to get in the habit of doing that as well. I want you to begin to talk to your taste buds and tell your taste buds, no, we will not eat toxic food at night. No, we will. When your husband, like mine, wants to give you gorditas and tortillas and all of those things, you have to be able to tell your body, no, we will not eat that. We will rather eat the vegetables.
So you don't let it tell you what to eat, you tell it what it's going to eat.
You tell it exactly. Tell your body what it is going to eat, what it is going to have in it. And a lot of times, fam, you don't know that maybe sometimes our bodies have allergies to glutens. That's what causes you to, one of the answers for one of the babies. This is what causes us to inflammation. And remember, when you do that, make sure that you're going to, not to say that this is what you want, but tell your body no glutens. And if you happen to run across glutens, eat a lot of antihistamines like garlic and onions. Onions are a good way of dehistamine. Antihistamine is the word I'm looking for. Antihistamine. So, I think that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. I simply agree with the Master Creator. And He said He made you fearfully and wonderfully made. And I agree with that. And I love you. And I thank the Father for you. Thank you for coming into the class today. I missed you all so much. I began to talk to my body and tell it what it was not going to do. And so today, I'm here to tell you, your EMA blesses the Master Creator for you and for all things that He's provided and given us. Until next week, stay healed, stay whole, stay sound, and stay in favor with the Most High, because He's looking to have a word with you. I love you. Mwah. Blessings. Blessings, baby.